Hey everybody, welcome to my Q&A. I try to do these weekly, and the way to order yourself a question would be to go to amysatori.com/ask Amy, and you'll get all the details there, and you'll find out when your video will come out according to when you ordered it, and you'll even figure out if you did a question last week when that video will come out as well. So, and if anything changes and I end up going to a different channel, or something crazy happens, you guys will be updated on that page. So it's going to be kind of a go-to page for everybody who wants to see what I'm doing on YouTube, but under the guise of the Q&A in a way. Oh, these days. Anyway, okay, so I don't think I have any messages for you guys. I just had the love reading, the February love reading that came out, as well as the 8th Great Awakening video. If you guys haven't seen those, you might want to check those out. Without further ado, I guess we'll get to our questions today. Okay, first one is from M.O. Okay. Hi, Amy. Thank you for your support on this difficult journey with my DM who was handling my lawsuit. I'm feeling a bit discouraged with how he handled it. Was he just trying to get rid of me, or couldn't he focus because of his evil karmic interference? Okay, so let's take a look here. I need to grab, let's take a look at this one. Okay, I'm going to look at my mini ghoster deck for this one. Okay, so what was it? Why was it such a disappointing response? Why has he not really showed up for her like she was hoping for? Why is this going on? Why is he acting so weird? Aw. Oh. Well, I'm very sick, or someone close to me is. I don't want to burden you with the situation, so I'm just taking care of that right now. Is his karmic maybe faking a sickness? I actually got a yes. Mentally sick. Suicidal. It's possible that she's threatening suicide. And so he's just wanting to, tend to her in that situation. Boy, that's really manipulative. Can you imagine? Okay, so he still feels for her the way that he always has, yes. Does he plan to actually do something about that? Does he realize he's being manipulated? Yes, he does. And yes, he does. So, in fact, the next card says, this is what I was awing about. I've given it so much thought, and I know it to be my deepest truth. I choose you. No matter how things look on the outside, you are my person, and I only want you. Please trust me on that. So I don't know what you're supposed to do with that when he's married someone else. There's not really much you can do. If I were you, I would say definitely move on. You can't wait for somebody who's made a commitment like that to come around to their senses. You need to move on. And if he changes his if he realizes he wants to live in his truth and that he can do that and he empowers himself somehow, then what an awesome surprise that would be, right? But I don't want you sitting around waiting for him and thinking, tapping your toes and your fingers and being like, okay, when's he going to show up? Don't do that to yourself. Don't be in that waiting energy. And as always, remember to always work on yourself as well. So he says, trust me, I'm just as frustrated as you. I just have to figure out some things before I can make this right. I don't want to involve you. There's another reference about not wanting to involve you in all the boring or dramatic details. Just know that I got this. So, he does plan to rectify the situation. And he said, it turns out you were right and my ego is bruised. So you were right about whatever you put in your letter that we've talked about. And he knows that, but he's like a little bit bruised about it. But I ultimately want you in my life more than I need to be right. I just have to swallow my pride a minute as I'm not used to this feeling. So maybe the tone that you're picking up on is actually him being really disappointed with himself and upset that he has handled things the way that he has. I can feel you in the energetic realm when you pray for me and talk to me telepathically. It's really helping me. Please keep it up. It's giving me faith. I have to take care of a child matter right now, or someone else who's dependent on me. I can't move forward until it's taken care of and I feel like it's stabilized. Thank you for your patience. Okay, I'm sorry. I really am. I hope you can forgive me. I just feel so bad. I don't care what others think of us. We're perfect for each other, and that's all that matters. I am open to planning or relocating to be closer to you. Interesting. I'm open to compromising more than you may realize. Let's think outside the box and figure out a way. Do not underestimate the power of our love. Expect a miracle. Okay, so number 2. I have an opportunity to rent a home and an art studio from my designer for a year or 2. I'm going back and forth with my decision. What is Spirit saying about this? Much love. Much love back. Boy, that sounds like an optimal situation. A home and an art studio together for you. That'd be amazing, right? Okay, so let me feel with my intuition for a moment. And they said, go for it. Now, is it going to take you away from your masculine a little bit? Because I saw you kind of tuck your tail down and you kind of looked back at someone like you were going to leave somebody behind. Is that the holdup? Is that the deal? Because if that's the deal, definitely leave your masculine. Because at this point, the fact that your masculine screwed it up so bad that he married the wrong person and told you that, he needs to make it up to you and relocate and come to you at this point. I mean, he has to do something to come to you. So I would not take that as any kind of a factor or a weigh-in on it. Okay, Spirit, what are you saying with the tarot cards here? Tarot cards are a wonderful way, and oracle cards, just about anything. Scrying with anything in life is a wonderful way to talk to God, you guys. There's nothing negative about it. There's nothing evil or bad about it. It is a way for the divine and your intuition to speak to you more directly. So shake off those old beliefs if that's a belief you've held on to. Okay. Yeah, they're saying walk away. You got the 8 of Cups and the King of Pentacles. So walk away from that which has been familiar to you that you thought was going to be fulfilling and wonderful for you, and actually walk away to the treasure. So it's like, yeah, be grounded, mature, and go be abundant and leave all this behind that you have collected. And you may even start a new career or a whole new chapter in your work. You may be just expanding to a whole other level. You're going to be taking your business to a whole other level in doing so. And I think that your focus on your work is going to be a really good energy for your connection with your masculine as well. I think it's going to help give him courage. And it will take courage on your part also to kind of come out of hiding with your art. But they're encouraging you, like, believe in yourself and go forward, and you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. You know the right thing to do. It feels like you need to have faith in yourself and do what you feel inspired and encouraged to do creatively. So I would say you're getting a big old yes on that one. Okay, LZ. Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for all you do. You're welcome. I've been quietly dating my best friend for the last year, who is also best friends with my ex-husband. Oh my goodness. We are taking some space to figure out how to move forward with the situation. My first question is, will we come back together sooner rather than later? I get a yes. And 2, also, will he finally be honest with his ex about us dating and free himself from that toxic friendship? I get a yes on that too. So, since your answers were so short and to the point, I am going to expand on that. Cleanup job is, I just got cleanup job. I feel like the love reading that I just did this week really pertains to him. I think that that's very much, yes. And I just got the King of Swords that jumped out, the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment and strength. So yeah, he's coming to clarity right now. I'd give him lots of space right now. I wouldn't push him or pressure him or anything. It does look like he's gonna really kind of turn a cold shoulder to her, and he's gathering up the strength to do that now. I just felt with all the Nine of Cups and stuff, it could be that he might use some liquid courage. If he's had a drinking problem, I think he's going to be healing that issue and balancing out. So it's like he feels inspired to be a better man. And he feels that it's reciprocated. Like you feel the same way. Like he inspires you to be a better woman as well. He really does want to give back to you and heal any heartbreak by believing in you guys and wanting to start a new journey. So he should be apologizing and or just giving you some kind of a really beautiful, heartfelt gesture. I just got that it might be an offer to move in or something like that, like just taking it to the next level. And he's looking at you as the Empress while he sees himself as a knight. But at least it kind of has a feel to it when I'm looking at this horse that he feels like you do need him. A lot of guys get really intimidated when they think of you as the Empress because they're like, well, she's got everything. What's she need me for? But he's going forward on this horse and he's offering a cup knowing full well she's going to take it. So he does know that there's something that he has to offer that you appreciate and that you love about him and that he's happy to provide it. He feels like he could even, I feel like he has had issues with jealousy in the past. Felt like, just kind of looking over his shoulder all the time at who could be his competition and like worried about betrayal. But I feel like he's really healing that. And I feel like he feels like he can trust you and that you're not going to be keeping secrets from him, that you're going to be all about commitment and being traditional that way. So you're going to honor him, they just said. He just felt you to honor him. So I think that's really beautiful what you guys have. So just have lots of patience. Be gentle with him about all of it. Encourage him. Tell him you believe in him. If you do, you don't want to lie to him. I feel like he's just kind of facing his demons right now. But don't you worry that it's tugging on his heartstring pretty hard. And he knows that he really does want to go forward with you and that it's hurting you to take time. So it's a tough pill to swallow with the ex. But it's not because he's still attached to her or wanting to be with her necessarily. There was just some, there was love there. There was love there. There were feelings there. And he knows how much it's going to hurt. Or at least she's manipulating him to make him feel that way too. I mean, it's a mixed bag, but there's something sad about what he's having to leave behind, and being kind of harsh with her is not something he's looking forward to doing. But he also knows that in order to go forward into a new chapter and have new memories built up that are just as precious, if not way better and more sincere and more authentic than he had with her, then he really does have to, like, just as with any chapter in life, when you leave a town and go to a new town, it could be a hard pill to swallow to leave the old town, because there are wonderful memories there, wonderful friends, wonderful experiences, and everything. And it's like you can always honor that place in your heart, but you don't have to. You just still got to go forward into the new life with optimism and faith and hope and eager anticipation. So, everything's cool. Okay, GM. Please pull a few tarot cards on my Divine Masculine. All right. We'll do a true love check-in. All right. So, Spirit, God, what do you have to say? Oh, he's wanting to offer you. He's building himself up to... It just seems so timid and shy, but he's really building himself up to having his wish fulfillment, having his way with you. I just got. He wants to have his way with you, and he wants to start with a text message or phone call or something. He's feeling a little sheepish, though. and maybe a little bit defensive over betraying you, because it looks like he's lied to you. He's lied to you about something. Or maybe it's just that he's been hiding from you while he's betraying you, kind of stabbing you in the back and knowing, that he's doing that to you. Because he could tell that you're totally faithful to him, you're devoted to him, and he's still kind of trying to make up, still trying to people please the ex possibly, or still trying to, I don't know. It's like, it kind of feels like it was dead for a moment with his ex and he resurrected it. And then he was shooting himself in the foot going, oh my God, I had an opportunity to get the hell out of there. And I resurrected it. I brought her back from the dead, damn it, He feels really mad at himself. And it's like, he's working really hard though to bring you an apology, a sincere apology. And really does think the world of you and thinks that you are everything he's ever wanted. So he knows he's got to make some sacrifices, and he's got to, again, like leave the past behind like the last person and start a new chapter with you, and that he's got to make it clear to her that she can no longer manipulate him like that. Yeah, he's defensive over a betrayal, but he's asking for a miracle. He's like, God, please resurrect the right relationship, not the wrong one. So he's overcoming a bruise to his ego because he just feels like a bit of an idiot. And he's going to be working very hard on having really good boundaries with her now. And it's because he wants a fresh new start, and he misses the hell out of you, and he really wants to tell you just how much you matter to him. And he's very, very passionate about you, your body, the intimacy you guys share. And he knows he's broken your heart, and he can't stop thinking about you and the betrayal. And like he's like it's such a sad thing, because it's like his heart is completely yours, and yours is his, and he's completely committed to you on one level, but on the other level he keeps messing it up so that he's staying stuck. And he can't enjoy the person that he loves. He's keeping you guys separated for no reason, for no good reason at all. And he really wants to heal that. And he wants to quit pussyfooting around. So he keeps the situation, going. And he wants to give back to you. And he wants to start pouring his energy into you, where it belongs. And he just said, I'm devoted to you, girl. I'm devoted to you. Let's see. Yeah, see, I just pulled a masculine card too, and it says, I'm so shy, I shake when I think of reaching out to you. See, that's that sheepishness. I've tried so many times, it's just so hard for me to be as vulnerable as I know that I'll have to be with you. You scare him. He says he's being held up in a mental prison of some sort, or self-imposed, but either way, I'm doing my best to get out of this and reach out as soon as I can. So please don't worry about me. Yeah. He thinks about you all the time. I feel that. Oh my gosh, I miss you so much. My heart aches. I don't know what I'd do without you in my life. Please don't go date anyone else. I know I seem to be taking my time, but I'm evolving faster than you might think. Oh, that's good. I'm dealing with a mental health issue right now, so maybe it gives him anxiety. Once I have stabilized or healed enough to begin something new with you, I'm going to reach out. I would do absolutely anything for you. I'd go to the end of the earth, and I'll prove this once we come together. You know who I truly am, and I plan to make this up to you. See, he knows. He knows you're the one who treats him right, and that you're the one who deserves to have his love and attention. And he is going to make things right. Okay, CD. Okay. Hi, a light language blessing on how did my divine masculine think or feel on New Year's with me not wishing him a Happy New Year. I was seeing if he would say Happy New Year first to me, and he never did. Thank you. There's a card in reverse. Page of Pentacles. He wanted to reach out to you. He totally wanted to reach out to you and send you a text message. Okay, so how did he feel about her not sending him one? Interesting. What is this? He felt like you were being, like he had regret over not doing something. See, I think he was with someone. And I think it was wish fulfillment for him to not hear from you, that you hid from him. And he felt like that was really compassionate, kind, and intuitive of you. He thinks you did it because you intuitively that you didn't send a message because you felt intuitively that he was with someone else, and he was. But he really regrets it. And he didn't want it to look to the other person as if he has a mistress, which is really funny because whoever he would be with, that would be the mistress and you would be the love of his life. But, you know, he's trying to get in his power because he's really afraid he's going to miss out on you if he doesn't do something like take a road trip out to come see you or do something to balance things out. He does know that you are, you know, where he can be happiest. He's just trying to have the strength, trying to find the strength to reach out to you and talk to you. I'm not sure if he's going to, you know, unless you ask, I don't think he'll talk about that night. You know, he was necessarily with that night. I'm sure it'll come up when you guys talk, but he does want to talk to you. I feel like he's afraid that you're going to judge him. But I feel like he's also going through an awakening. I feel like you might have even mentioned something to him about what's going on in our world or something. And I think he's actually waking up to some of those truths. And I feel like the other person that he may have spent New Year's with doesn't get it at all. So he is transforming, and he wants you to know that. And he's going away from the drama and negativity, perhaps of the third party or hiding the third party. And he's going to feel victorious coming to you. So he's going to feel super proud of himself when he's able to face this. Yeah, see, you are seriously, literally the answer to my prayers, my dream girl. Say you'll say yes if I ask. I'm so nervous because I'm seriously planning to propose or elope, so get ready. Are you kidding me? Gosh. Oh, these guys. Okay, and then you're also wanting to know what he felt about the last text you sent him. What did he feel about the last text she sent him, please, Spirit? He wanted to work with you, plan with you, collaborate with you, and stop working against you. He wants to cooperate. He's just healing. Maybe he went through a breakup with that person, but he did it because he wants to do what he wants to do. And he could feel like that person was really wanting to take him in a direction he didn't want to go with his life. So he's coming to heal things with you, and he was delighted and really happy to hear from you. And it made him really assess some things and come into balance and more in alignment with what he truly wants. And that isn't the drama and negativity that the other path was leading to. So he, you know, if he was people pleasing in that situation and maybe lied to you because of it, he, you know, he branched out on his own, got himself single, got himself away from that situation, and he doesn't want to be lying anymore. He's going to be working on an apology. So, yeah. Okay, and then you also want a blessing on how did he think and feel about hanging out with me in December, cuddling and talking. Okay. What did he think and feel? Obviously blissed out. Very, very happy. Yeah, the Sun, the Ace of Swords, the High Priestess, and the World. Yeah, he felt like he feels an intuitive connection to you. That the High Priestess keeps popping up. So he feels like a 5D connection to you, but probably talks to you in the 5D a lot. He's been healing. It was very healing for him to be that vulnerable and intimate with you. A little shocking, which may have driven him to someone else. Oh gosh, these guys. But he really he felt quite giddy about you, what you guys did, and the clarity that it brought, and it made him want to come out of hiding and be strong enough to be who he truly is, and that is that who he is with you is who he really is, and he knows that. And he really does feel like you are everything he's ever wanted in a woman. Yeah, again, with the awakening and wanting to offer you some kind of a proposal once he overcomes a bruise from his ego from having broken your heart unnecessarily. So, yeah, he regrets that, and he really wants to make right by you. He started to go down another path, or acted like he was going to, or started to kind of psych himself out. But it's just because he got scared from the intensity of your connection. Okay, so you wanted a blessing from him to you. Okay. Oh, he just kissed your hands. He put both your hands together. He kissed your hands, and then he kneeled down on one knee. Like, I hope you can forgive me. I was just running away. I was running away from the intensity. It was like you guys were one person. I'm pretty sure you guys had sex, and I'm pretty sure that sex was like mind-blowing. And that he felt like, I can't even say that he didn't deserve you, because it was like you guys were, okay. It would be like looking in the mirror and finally loving yourself to love you. Meant that he had to accept and love himself. There was something about like merging and being one with you that was facing him in the mirror. And at first he said, I can't take it. I can't love myself. There are things that I've done, or there's, demons that I would, I just don't deserve. I don't deserve to love myself. And not even about you loving him, but him forgiving and loving himself enough to accept that kind of love. And then once he went down that other path, he's like, well, why the hell would I do that to myself? Like, if I go down that path, I'm going to be really beating myself up and thinking I'm a loser and I'm an idiot for continuing to make bad mistakes and decisions. So why don't I finally make a good decision, and go with somebody who can actually help me to heal and love myself like I want to. I do want to heal this. I don't think I should be perpetually punished for the rest of my life for the things I've done. I deserve a second chance. Everybody does, he just said. So he wants his second chance with you because he knows that you could love him right, that you could love him properly. And there's an innocence about you that the way you guys laugh, or something about your laugh, or something just like, oh my gosh, he just, it goes out of his body. So in a really awesome way, obviously. But yeah, like so many things that you say and do together, like he just reminisces about it all the time. I mean, over and over and over. Like, people will catch him kind of smiling or laughing sometimes, and they'll be like, what are you talking about? Or what are you thinking about right now? And he's like, whoa, and he kind of snaps out of it. He's, oh, okay, yeah, so he gets distracted by his love for you. And, he would fight to the death for you. Like, he would do anything. It feels like if something were to happen, he found out you were in the hospital or anything like that, he would drop everything, and he would just absolutely be panicked and rush to your side. And he'd be the kind of guy that would fall asleep on, beside you, holding your hand on that hospital bed. I don't even like talking about hospitals right now, because the minute you go in one of those things, you're a goner, pretty much. So let's not talk about that. But I'm just saying, like, if something scary would happen, he would totally be by your side. He's absolutely, completely committed to you. Okay. LM. All right, LM. Hi, Amy and the collective. I hope you're all having an amazing week so far. I've been dating this guy for a few months now, and it seems like there's a lot of emotion and intensity between us two, but we would have a lot of things to overcome if we would end up being together, which for me, I'm okay with, and it seems like he would be willing to try as well. It feels like we are unofficially official. This past week, I found out that my mother asked another reader about my connection with him, and the reader told her he was nice, but it was short term. Plus, she made the comment, how are you going to handle his 4 kids when you can't handle your 1? I don't know why she doesn't think I can handle my 1. Also, my best friend made the comment, you know this is short term, right? I'm caught off guard by these comments. And honestly, kind of makes me want to disconnect, because it feels as if they are completely unsupportive, and I don't know why. Neither of them have even met the guy. And my daughter likes him and his kids. This just makes me feel like there is a test I have to overcome. I'm wondering if you can do a light language blessing to help increase the support of others, if it's within their free will, protection, positivity, and love towards this connection. Thank you, and have a great weekend. I just saw the word loser. I think they see him as a loser. I think they've made judgments about him by the things that you've said. Those things that you said you guys would have to work through in order to be together, I think those are the things they're judging. Yeah, it's really hard when somebody hasn't met someone and they can't sense their sincerity. They can't, it's entirely different when they hear it versus actually experiencing him. I feel like they would like him. I think they would be more understanding if they knew him. And I feel like the way that you've described him or situations as like stressing you out, they don't want more stress in your life for you. They want you to have a simpler life. It's like they want you to have some guy to come in and fix all your problems. And they feel like this would be bringing on more of a burden for you. Like it would just be adding on to your problems. Yeah, they feel like he's got emotional baggage as well. And that he would have to be somebody that you would fix. But they're glad that you're not lonely, that you have somebody to keep you company, which is what they're referring to as him being kind of like a short-term type of thing. He's got all this emotional baggage, so just use him for sex and companionship right now. And, that's good for us. But, okay, so here's the thing. We need to pull away from leaning on and being codependent on other people to help us feel better about things. So you were going to these people, confiding in them because you felt uncertain perhaps, or you wanted to, just say it out loud to them so that you could gain their support and they would offer their 2 cents and make you feel better about it or whatever. But I think we're coming to a time, you guys, where we have to become more autonomous. This is why I'm always talking about Byron Katie. I know you guys are probably sick of hearing about it, but that's okay, because repetition, can be a good thing to persuade you guys. And her work is phenomenal. And it's effective, or I wouldn't be referring everybody to that work called Selfinquiry. So I believe if everybody on the planet, if they had a problem with their person or a problem with anything in life, and they were to just take it to paper and write it down and process it properly within themselves, we're talking total sovereignty here. You wouldn't have to bounce anything off of anybody. You wouldn't have to get their approval. You wouldn't have to ask what they think. You wouldn't have to talk to them all the time or any of that, unless it's just talking about wonderful things that have happened in your life lately, or you want to share some good news, or, positive stuff. So if you're struggling at all with anything in your life, you can talk to somebody like a professional like me. Of course, that's fine. And I'm talking to your spirit guides and everything anyway. I'm not, going on whatever. I'm not judging anything. And I'm talking directly to Source about this on your behalf. So it's a totally different thing. However, I think it's just super, super important that everybody start to learn not to talk to other people about your relationships. And you got to figure it out for yourself, because even when you get going in your relationship and you guys are just doing really great and it's really hopping, and all of a sudden something happens, your friends are going to get defensive and your family are going to get defensive about whatever that is and jump on your side against the other person. Usually. Or either way. But either way that goes, even if they side with the other person and not you, then there's pain and there's more people involved. All these opinions bouncing around. It gets confusing. It gets hard. And then you have to try to win their opinion back and get their support, when the whole thing, the whole problem lied within you needing anybody else's support or influence or opinion in the first place. If everybody on the planet was doing Byron Katie's work, you guys would see so much more clearly. You wouldn't be as reactive. You wouldn't be as upset. And you would just have clarity of your feelings, clarity of your emotions, clarity in what you're communicating to your partner. I mean, there would just be like a sense of humor even about things. Things would just be a lot easier to handle as well. And it would be kept just between the two of you, and there wouldn't be all this mess. So I think you guys stand a chance. I think you do. And I think that he feels the same way, but I think he also feels a little intimidated by your little network. And also, I would be careful about going to any reader, especially somebody that's negative. Kind of sounds like your mom's a little negative, and she probably went to a reader who's kind of negative. I just get that feeling. And those are the kind of people who really try to, they'll say a bunch of negative things to make you scared and make you feel like you should rely on them. Oh, big warning. Okay, I better go to her and find out what she's talking about. Maybe she knows something I don't know. Then you give your power away, meaning that instead of making your own decision based on what your heart is telling you or what your mind is telling you, you go to this woman who's making you afraid so that she can have control over you and influence you and tell you what to do when it's not her life at all. It's yours. So, hapama ana chekin hypeins. Moana. Yeah. I think you guys stand a chance, but I think that from now on, just as an experiment for at least a month or two, learn to do Byron Katie's work. Learn to do that. And I have a video on YouTube on how to do her work. Just look up the words Amy Satori and Byron Katie, and it will pop up. Watch the 30-minute one and learn how to do it. You might have to read one of her books to really understand what she's getting at and to how to formulate your stressful thought. And I coach people for free and mentor them for free on Telegram and WhatsApp in terms of like coming up with a good stressful thought to work on and stuff. But man, anybody that I've told that to and they've actually listened to me and done it are thanking me profusely. And they're becoming so powerful, they don't even need anybody. They really don't need. People should not be in your life to help you solve problems. I think that's been taught to us by the Luciferians too. They shouldn't. That's not what people are there for. People are there to offer, like, hey, I made some extra food for my meal today. Would you like some dinner? Here's some, like, sharing stories and sharing funny things and sharing, about each other's lives and reflection and all this wonderful stuff. It's not to burden each other with each other's problems and drama. That's a mistake that we're making in our society that needs to change or shift. Especially as we're going into the 5D, we're going to be completely relying on God, completely relying on Source for our answers and our intuition, and we're going to be telepathic and all that stuff. So we're going to be see-through anyway. We're not even going to be, nobody's going to fool each other or scam each other or pull one over on each other. There's not going to be any manipulation. So you may as well get used to it now and get just don't. Nobody lean on anybody for anything. Just figure it out for yourself and find those answers within yourself. And if you find that you're leaning too much on needing somebody else's input, then pull away from them and start going within yourself for those answers. And you'll feel a lot better. You'll feel a lot better and a lot more clear. Okay. So I think, I didn't do what you asked me to do, but it's because I don't feel like that's the best request. I will say though that, like you said, within their free will and all that stuff, offer up the support that they can, but saying it as a caveat that I don't think you should need their support. So here's a blessing for what you asked. Hamana tensa se shikina hapompo okena. Tatahe san se shikehela. Hop hop humama again. Hantate chensa se ela pompo mona. Tatai kensa se shinatai. Okay. So I asked them to have an open mind, to, care about what the kids feel as well. Take everything into consideration before jumping to conclusions or judgments. Okay, NT. Hi, Amy. I haven't worked since the scamdemic started because I suffer from asthma and refuse to wear a mask and make myself sicker. California requires it. I used to bartend, but I can't handle working in that environment anymore anyhow. I want to do something that helps people, but can't figure out what that is. This has been going on for almost 2 years now, and it's starting to affect my mental, physical, and spiritual health. I had a severe asthma attack at the beginning of the year that I'm still recovering from, and my anxiety and depression are so bad that sometimes I can barely get out of bed. I used to feel very close to spirit and could receive messages from my parents that passed away over 10 years ago, as well as being able to manifest very quickly. But when I ask for guidance from spirit, I'm not getting anything and feel blocked. I don't know if something's attached to me and that it caused my struggles, or it's just not time for me to know quite yet. But money is becoming a serious issue, and I have no idea what direction to go to generate income that aligns with my soul mission. I'm hoping you can help. Hama natein saseshiki na hapon. Hate ken ha. Yeah, you definitely you got a few lower astral entities on you, girl. I don't know where you've been hanging out, but you usually get them in public places, like bars. So probably when you were bartending. Hopelessness. It feels like hopelessness, fear, lack. What else? Hopelessness, fear, lack. So you got about 3. They every lower astral entity like represents like one negative feeling that it's an expert at, and it makes you feel that feeling times a million, like really amplifies it within you. But you already had to have the feeling inside of you in order for it to multiply like that. So let's clear that out. Hama manatein sase kena hupoma onai chanchaike. Yes, all 3 of them are from 2 years ago. They've been building up all this time, and they're like a couple of them are refusing to move. Hupoma manatein chanchaike hela anse sela hapoma on tataikensa hela hena ama on. Hake ela sense shishi pimpamama ona taike. Some of your issues that brought this on had something to do with the way that you were born. I don't know if you were unwanted and maybe you heard that in your mama's belly or something, but something was triggered when you were really, really little, and they've been there. Well, one of them has been there from that time for a real long time. That's the depression one. So there must have been 4. Okay. So, hama natein sasai lakiti pimpoma mahama an. Okay. All right. So they're giving 2 answers. Spirit is giving 2 answers in terms of what you can do. What the things that would be, when I ask Spirit, what can this person do about this issue? They will tell me the answer that if you do it, it would have the biggest effect. And they usually will tell me something that you are going to do or agree to do, or they feel like you are going to do it, or they wouldn't even be saying it. It may take you a little while to actually get off your butt and do it, but it's like they are more apt to do the thing, and it's going to be very, very effective when they do. So they don't waste their time. So the 2 things that they mentioned were Qigong, because they said that you have to have you have a habit of attracting these types of things because you've developed a belief system around it, and you've formed an identity around it now. So you've shifted over to a lower timeline and are now starting to buy into the negative AI and what they're saying to you. So somehow you need to climb out of that. And one of the things that can help a problem with a momentum that's been building up over time like that, and depression can really be quite the hook. And it leads, and it's like you've been depressed in past lives and everything too. So it's very familiar and comfortable for you. It's like, hey, good friend from the past, welcome back in my home. Eat all the potato chips you want and hang out on my couch. We'll just be depressed together, So it's like, go, how much she can't say. Okay, so you have to go flush your system out. With the Qigong, you have to like inundate it with light. So you want to do Qigong, and they're saying at least 3 times a day. Like when you wake up, or just after lunch or before lunch, and then after dinner, before bed. So 3 times a day, and I have a routine that I always recommend. You can do any qigong routine you want to, but qigong builds up in your body, so you want to do at least like 20-30 minutes of it whenever you do it. You want to do like an hour a day if you want to have like maximum impact, at least an hour a day. But stretching and meditation also count as qigong. So you can do like, 30 minutes in the morning, you could do stretching or meditation for lunch. And then at dinner, you could do 20 or 30 minutes, something like that. So you can mix it up a little bit. But the one that I recommend is in my resources page on my website. Just go all the way down to the bottom. It's called More Energy, More Life. Okay? So if you do that one several times a day, it's going to flush out your system of all that stale, stagnant energy that's been there for a really long time. It's going to do like a cleanup job, kind of like a colonoscopy, or not a colonoscopy, colonics, like just cleaning the poop out of your system kind of thing. It's going to clean out all the old residue of those old beliefs. And then doing Byron Katie's work is the other recommendation they made. So it feels like if you do some reflection and you start retraining your brain by doing Katie's work, do the self-inquiry, it feels like it's going to start to help you lighten up about things, help you feel more empowered, and help you gain some clarity. Now, in terms of what you're going to be doing for, with your life and helping people, they said you have to master helping yourself first. So you got to start healing yourself first. And I know that's scary because you're like in a lack mentality thinking I'm not making enough money right now. But for now, you could just start affirming. Thank you, God, so much for providing me with an income, doing something that I love doing. Thank you so much. I feel like I've won the lottery in every area of my life. Just reach for whatever you could believe, even if you're faking it. Try to be like an actor or an actress and believe it to the degree that you possibly can. Imagine that you are that grateful, that you are that abundant, that, oh man, I'm just so grateful for the way things are going right now in my life. Thank you, God, so much for all the amazing opportunities coming to me right now, the plethora of opportunities being offered to me right now. Thank you so much that so many doors are wide open for me to walk through. And they're all things I really, really love to do. Repeat that to yourself over and over and over. And the second your brain starts to go toward any of that lack stuff, stop it immediately and start affirming some of these things that I'm saying. So that's going to help also stop the momentum. So, hamanatain sasishikin po maan haikans. So it feels like the way that she could give back. I know this sounds really weird, and what a random thought to pop in my head, but it feels like you might be helping with some kind of a rose garden. And I don't know, it's like I don't know anybody who gets paid to do a rose garden, but you're going to be involved in some kind of a gardening project that's going to really give back. Maybe it could be you start off doing something voluntary like that just to start interacting with human beings more and to start giving back, and it'll help you get out of that lack mentality and kind of shake the energy up a little bit so that you can start getting some optimism going, some positivity going, so that you can get yourself out of this mess of an energy, they just said vortex, like a negative energy vortex. So, once you get yourself out of this and you're feeling more positive, there are going to start being some opportunities offered to you. But you got to get yourself out of the slump. And you got to be interacting with people to do that. So you got to somehow get involved with other people, and be looking online with optimism and curiosity, and just be like, instead of, oh God, I have to get a job, just more be like, I wonder what's possible. I wonder with my experience what I could plug into that I've maybe never even done before or never even thought of. I'm just going to look through all the wanted ads and find out, I'm just going to read the description and see if that could be something really fun for me to do with my experience. And And I mean, I see you working with children. I could see you working with old people. So I think there are like a lot of different options for you with your experience and how friendly you are with people when you're in the right mood. Yeah, it's gonna come to you. It's gonna be attracted to you, but you got to just get over this negativity you're in. And you're going to have to make a concerted effort to go against the programming that's already there. Okay, GM. Dear ones, sending love and light to you, to your three angels, Amy, Nala, to you three angels, Amy, Nala, and Little Miss Annie. Help, Amy. I need ideas, insights to employment where I lean into. Like, do you have a vision? Could you share where you see me working for now, being happy, giving, and working? I need to find employment. For some reason, YMCA just jumped into my head. So you may want to go back down there and see if they are, still looking for someone. Maybe the person that they hired instead of you is still, is not working out. And I just saw good and plenty. So maybe a candy store? I cannot imagine that, but I mean, we all have many options, but what's a likely option she's going to go toward? Well, caregiving again. I see you like taking somebody's temperature and checking their vitals. They're laying in bed and you're just caring for them, and you're being silly and kind of having fun. And I think they have an animal, so I think you're going to be doing some more of that. You're also going to start going into more of a leadership role. I want to say like a general manager, but I think that this is you getting into the humanitarian projects. Like you starting to head, you're very overwhelmed by it. So you might want to get educated about, I feel like you need to prepare yourself a little better, because I feel you kind of really overwhelmed over how to get everything started or what to do. So if I were you, I would start getting ready for that to happen, and I would start putting down, okay, here's what you do first. Here's what you do second. Here's what you do. Try to break it down into steps, even if they're pretty general steps, so that you know how when you're in the middle of a crisis, you can't even think straight. It's going to be like that. It's going to be a good crisis, but you're not going to be able to even think straight. So write yourself some kind of little note or a letter or something that you know that you go to and you open up when shit hits the fan and you find out this wonderful news that's very overwhelming, and go open that up and read it to yourself. Now that you're all calm, cool, collected, just help yourself breathe through it, and encourage yourself through it. Because it just feels like something's really going to get off the ground that you've been wanting to have started like a long time ago. Some of the things that you're going to be doing it has to do with something you dreamt about or really wanted to have happen since you were little. And I don't think it's something you necessarily have on your list of things to do, but it's going to be something that tugs on your heartstrings. I also see you like making Christmas cards or something like that, like do something really sweet to give back, like during holidays, special occasions and things. So I feel like you've got a lot of joy coming after a very, very scary, overwhelming time. And then all of a sudden it's like, don't put too much pressure on yourself to be perfect or to do everything right. Just elicit a lot of help. And just tell yourself, I'm gonna screw up, I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes, and just know that, so that you don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just be like, I'm just gonna do the best I can. I don't know what I'm doing, but nobody else does either. This going into the new earth thing is going to be new to everybody. Everybody's going to be like, oh my gosh. So, just take that pressure off yourself. And just for now, you might do another caretaking job, or you might be working at the YMCA, but it's not going to be for very long, because it feels like the RVs might start rolling out soon. Is this right, Spirit? The Lovers? Okay, hang on. Okay, something about coming out of hiding. Like, because the secrets have to come out. I think that's the EBS, the emergency broadcast system, I think has to go off first, yes. Transformation needs to happen, then there's going to be a lot of chaos and ruckus and stuff, and then, yeah, your new adventure comes. And you get some kind of a message or a phone call that healing is here, that it's time to go forward doing your project. So, and something with healing, something's going to happen with abundance and healing and working together with other people, collaborating, which is probably your projects. Okay. KW. Hi, Amy. Love your true, honest self. Such an inspiration to all of us. Thank you. Blessings back to you. My question is, I have only ever messaged my DM. We are far away from each other in different countries. Just when I think he has lost touch, he says hello after weeks of nothing. I'd like you to do a true love check-in so I can figure out whether or not to even pursue this and possibly visit when travel opens up. So the Queen of Pentacles just dropped to the floor. So I think they're really encouraging you to just stay in a queen-like state. I would definitely recommend checking out my playlist all about true love, and watch my video that's in there called Stepping into Your Power. Watch a lot of videos in there, but yeah, they're saying you be the queen that attracts it. Just sit on your throne and don't need him to call or not call, or don't be dependent on him interacting with you. Just live your life, be the queen, and live your most queen life you can, and you will attract him like a moth to a flame. Okay, so how is he feeling about her right now? Wow, that's so interesting, because he's thinking he's perfect for you. Like, you guys are a perfect match. He got the King of Pentacles, and you had the Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, he knows that you're his true love. He knows that this is a different connection. It's not like, his other relationships he's had. He also sees you as abundant, flourishing, independent thinker. Like you might even seem sophisticated to him. But he definitely feels you're a kindred spirit and you are a true love. And he celebrates that. He's also trying to manifest coming up with some kind of an offer for you. Maybe asking you out on a date or something. But he's got to figure out something with money. So he might be having money issues. Or it could be that a lot of people want him to do something with his work and he wants to do something totally different with his work. So there's contradictions going on, fights going on, too many people weighing in on the matter. But he wants to do something to transform his life and have it like a brand new beginning. It kind of looks like he might want to sneak away from these people he's been hanging out with, or these people who influence him right now. And he wants to act out of integrity towards you and do what he wants to do. So he's trying to become independent of anybody else and manifest, coming over and having some kind of a life with you. He's just figuring out how to do that, like either gathering the money up or trying to find a job over close to where you are. Something like that is in the works. He regrets worrying too much and kind of keeping himself stuck, going back and forth, kind of being fickle. Maybe it was people pleasing, or maybe he had a karmic relationship. Something toxic was holding him back, and I think it had to do with him overthinking things. But now he wants a new beginning, and he wants to do right by you. And if he was with a karmic person, he's definitely getting rid of that person, or maybe already has. And he is coming into his power, and he is going to make up for lost time. So, yeah, I think you're not going to be the one traveling, he is, because they're encouraging you to be that Queen of Pentacles, and she's receptive. She's not the one doing the action. So I would just be healing yourself, healing your wounds, taking good care of yourself, loving yourself, and just kind of minding your own business, not really paying attention to what he's doing. You're going to think of him all the time, because that's what we do when we love somebody like that, and you're attached energetically. So yeah, I would say it's definitely worth pursuing, and you just got to let it take its course, because it will, and he feels the same way about you. Okay, KK. Oh, I'm not sure. Did I say the last person's initials? That was KW. Okay, so this is KK. Hi, Amy. Thank you kindly. My beloved son is having addiction issues and feels pain from his father's addiction issues. We did not live with his father, but I can tell he is angry and hurt. I feel he's so disappointed that he may have inherited this. Thank you so much, and I appreciate any guidance from him as it appears to be overly painful for him. Thank you kindly. Okay. He inherited the thoughts of being addicted. I don't believe he actually inherited the addiction. I think sometimes it's like if you're told your dad was a bad guy and he was a thief, sometimes it gets put in your head, from when you were little, you're going to be a thief just like your dad, and so things start shaping and forming according to your beliefs. But I feel like he could just as well start affirming, I'm healthy, happy, and wise. I make great decisions and I always do things that make me happy. And doing things that make me happy help me love myself. And the more that I reach for things that make me happy, I know that I'm going to brighter and brighter phases and chapters of my life. So I'm just going to keep reaching for the stars and dreaming big and go toward that which pulls me to it. Because an addiction is a lack of belief in something better, basically. It's you giving up on life and saying there's nothing out there to even look forward to, so I'm just going to, sabotage myself here and just do whatever the heck I want to. And then you get stuck in it, and then it's your escape away from those thoughts that torment you. But so ultimately, the real problem is his thinking and his pessimism. So, guys aren't usually all that open to doing Byron Katie's work, so that might be why they're kind of like, I doubt he'll do that. But one thing that you could do with him that would be really, really powerful is if you guys sit down to have dinner some night and you're like, come a little early to the table and you bring a pad of paper. You guys can, you can tell him that you've learned a new exercise called Thank You God for My Misery. And you go watch that video here on YouTube. Put Amy Satori and the word misery, it'll come right up. Learn how to do that exercise yourself. Become a master at it. Follow the instructions that I give in the video precisely so that you really get a good feel for it. And you'll see the change that it makes, the shifts that it makes in you. And then you're going to sit him down and say, here's going to be a tool that you can use. I'm going to teach you this once, so you better pay attention. Obviously, if you ever come back and ask questions, I'd be happy to help. But I'm planning on just telling you this once, and then you have to figure it out from there. And I feel like it would really, really help him. And you guys can sit there and hash it out. You could list, thank you, God, that my dad was addicted to blah, blah. And then he would list, you guys could both list all the advantages and benefits you can possibly think of, even sarcastic or funny things. Add it to the list because you want at least 10 to 15 advantages or benefits as to why that's perfect that happened or that's happening. And then he can write all that down and he can start to accept it, that it's a good thing. You might want to start, before you jump into that subject, you might actually want to start with a lesser subject that's not going to trigger him so much. So thank you, God, that I didn't get that role in the play that I wanted. List all the benefits and advantages as to why that was perfect that he didn't get that part. Ask him to go back to that girl that he liked that didn't pay any attention to him. And then he found out she's a total floozy later, right? So then you go back and you say, what are the benefits and advantages as to why it was a good thing that I never did get to go out with that girl? Oh, well, da. So use some other subjects first to kind of warm him up to the idea of it and get him laughing and get him being like, yeah, that's so true. That's so, oh my gosh, yeah. Once he sees the power of the exercise, he's going to, the idea when you go to do it is about radical acceptance, but you can't do it in your head because it's a creative process. And as you're writing it down, you have all these incredible epiphanies and realizations as you're doing it. You'll be astonished at the stuff that pops out. You're just like, whoa. So you may even want to, write on a separate pad of paper the ideas that start coming to you. But it's also basically to learn and to see that there is nothing ever wrong going on in your life. It's all being orchestrated by your higher self, and your higher self knows exactly what it's doing and why it's putting you through what it's putting you through. When you can make sense of it and you're like, oh my gosh, nothing's actually wrong. This is a genius plan. They got this. Spirit's got me. Holy cow. Then all of a sudden there's this relaxation. You just kind of fall back into the arms of God, and you're like, thank you. You guys know what you're doing up there, you know? So try that. I feel like it could really do a lot of good for you guys. Because it's the resistance that he's having to the whole idea that's making it compound even worse. It's like if you say, I'll never cheat, I've never been a cheater, never will be a cheater, my dad was a cheater, I'll never be a cheater, I'm never going to be like him, and you make this big thing of it, and every time you see somebody on the street that's flirting with somebody they shouldn't be flirting with, or every time you see somebody and you hear that and you're just like totally flying off the handle about whatever subject, that is something you need to heal. And right now, because you're going to go be a cheater is what you're going to be. You create that which you have these strong reactions to. So you better watch it. So this is why you got to get more neutral in life, is so that you can pick and choose what you believe to do or to be. You're not going to just do it because you have some kind of automatic reaction to something. So it's like the opposite of what people think. It's not what you, it's not your resistance to something that makes you not go there. That's the thing that actually makes you go there. If you're okay and you accept everything exactly like it is and you're totally neutral and you're like, hey, if I wanted to murder, I could murder. If I wanted to this, I could this. If I wanted to rape or to kill or to whatever it is, the worst of the scariest stuff you could possibly think of, know that you're a human being with an ego, and egos are capable of making you do anything. That negative artificial intelligence can take you over in an insane moment and make you do just about anything. If you can accept that fact and say, I'm a human being, I'm not enlightened yet. When you're enlightened, you would not be capable of that. It just wouldn't even occur to you. And you don't have any mental issues when you're enlightened. But while you're a human being with an ego, which most of us are, you're capable of all of it, any of it. It's just true. It's human nature. So if you can just accept that fact, then you can have more grace for yourself, and you can say, I could do that. I know that I'm capable of doing that because any human being is. However, I choose to be a faithful person because I want to wake up in the morning and feel good about myself every day. I don't want to be feeling guilty laying next to somebody. No, thank you. That's just my preference. I don't want to have a guilty conscience. I don't care to. So then you feel so much more empowered, and you're so much more prone to do the right thing because you look at it more logically rather than being all emotional about it. And you actually think it through, and you're just like, no, that would kind of be a stupid decision because I know that I would regret that. I don't want to live in regret. I want to make decisions that make me feel good about myself, that I can wake up and smile about. That kind of thing, So anyway, he's got to get rid of his resistance, or he's gonna become what he's so scared of, even more. So that exercise is really going to help him to dig himself out of that hole. Okay, SL. Hi, Amy. My husband called me crazy the other day because I told him the jabs are not safe. I feel like he deep down knows this, but is afraid to admit it. What do you see going on with him? He is afraid of what people will think. I feel like he's afraid of judgment. I feel like he's being a people pleaser. He's like, shh, stop it. Stop saying that. Don't tell people that. Oh my gosh. So if he thinks if he tells you that you're crazy, then you'll shut up about it. And you're not going to be telling everybody and embarrassing him. And yeah, I do feel he knows that you're right. I just feel like if he makes you feel comfortable talking about it, then you'll be talking about it to everybody. So that's unfortunate that people do this. And it's just not true. It's his own insecurity. It's also his fear that if he were to talk about that stuff, people would judge him for being crazy. That's exactly what the Luciferians have been planning all this time. This is exactly what they've wanted. They wanted people to be in despair, depressed, feel like they're crazy if they speak out and all that stuff. And it's just, I love these trucker convoys right now, because it's like, why? Obviously, this stuff is not a conspiracy theory, because why would millions of people in all countries be rising up right now, protesting like they are with these trucks? Give me a break. You know, it's got to be a freaking big deal for people from every country to be doing these convoys all across the whole country. That is not a conspiracy theory, people. This is called truth. And he's going to feel crazy for not listening to you later, when these truths are like more mainstream. And then of course he'll be all fickle and he'll be on your side. Oh, I knew all along. Oh, I was only calling you crazy because I was just a little embarrassed. And it's like, gosh. Oh, he says he misses you so much, his heart aches. I don't know what I'd do without you in my life. Please don't go date someone else. I know I seem to be taking my time, but I'm evolving faster than you think. So he got his trepidation. He knows he's putting a divider up between you guys because he's not being supportive of you like he should be. He misses you. He wishes that he would stop being that way, but he is saying that he's evolving too. I honestly think someone's doing black magic on me or something. If you know how to fix that, could you please? I just feel blocked at every turn. It's aggravating. Is somebody putting black magic on her man? Yes. Wow. And it also says, I'm dealing with an addiction right now. Please let me deal with this on my own so I can feel empowered and confident. Starting a new life with you. I know I can do it. So, I mean, his addiction could be overthinking everything and worrying about everything and the people pleasing, But let me do a clearing for him. Hama na te nsase she ike na ai. Hapopo mo apa na tiki itsan se she na. Ha la ke e tana pipimbe ma on. So it's like the black magic is, I think he's talking to somebody, like his mother or grandmother or somebody knows what you're talking about. And they're trying to influence him for you to put the kibosh on your mouth. Or he thinks that the person would. So let's say his grandmother always said, you never go against the grain. You never say things that everybody else aren't already saying. Or, you never stand out like a sore thumb. Or you don't ever, it could be either it is happening right now or he imagines that it would happen. So that's the black magic, is that he's kind of imprisoned. He's kind of imprisoned by the way that he's looking at the situation. Okay. Interesting. I want to call or visit so badly, but I have so much to do right now. I feel like before I feel like I can give you adequate time and attention you deserve, but I'm working you up my list of priorities. Okay. That's pretty funny. So it could also be part of it is dismissive. He doesn't want to get into that big long conversation. He's got a lot to do, and he's really kind of trying to push it down so he doesn't have to deal with it. So I feel like he's going to be really relieved when the EBS goes off and all this stuff starts happening. He's going to look at you and be like, oh my God, you were right all along. And hopefully he'll apologize so you guys can bridge that gap again. Let me see here. Yeah, he's afraid you're right. He's afraid you're right. So part of him is even trying to deny it himself. Okay, AR. My son is almost 12 years old and still wets the bed at night. Oh my gosh. He wears pull-ups at night only. I believe it stems from trauma he endured from his stepmom. I get a yes on that. Can you tap into his higher self and see what can be done? Yeah. Oh, well, the first thing, even tuning into it at all, Spirit was like, are you ready to be done with this? They're asking him that right now. He said, yes. Then you need to quit making yourself out to be a victim. So you need to teach him that exercise I was talking about earlier with the thank you, God, for my misery. Teach him how to do that. It's him feeling like a victim that's really that's in his way. I feel like if he starts having a better attitude about the bad things that have happened to him, it's really gonna help. Hapo mama anatekin, he chains essay. It could even, I feel like this problem could become erectile dysfunction as an adult. So he's got to nip those thoughts. Everything, all suffering comes from our thoughts. So the quicker that he can become more empowered in what he's thinking, even the things that he's like shoved down and tried to act like aren't there, the better. So try to teach him that exercise and sit down with him and be like, I'm about to give you an exercise that's going to really make you feel super empowered for the rest of your life. And please don't ever forget it. And I want you to do it every time something wrong or bad happens, or any time that a memory comes back of something that you think shouldn't have happened. I want you to sit down and do this exercise. Maybe you could do it every night. And I was talking about doing it with dinner, before dinner or whatever every night. But I think that's a great idea. It's a good, while you're sitting around waiting for the pot to boil or whatever, it's a good time for everybody to come together and maybe do that exercise and just be like, does anybody have an issue right now they want to thank God for? Yeah, okay. And then you can all chime in and say why it's a perfect thing that's going on, or that happened in the past or whatever. So you can make it like a thing that brings your family together and helps you guys feel closer to each other too. Hapama anate kin sase sheina. Halana taikena shein sasela. It feels like it would be good for him to even do laugh therapy before bed, or like watch funny videos before he goes to bed. For some reason, it feels like it would get him in a really good tone, a really good vibration that would go around him peeing. So if he goes to bed on a really positive note, if he feels either giddy, excited, or silly, or funny, or laughing, I don't think he'll pee. So, you could even give him incentive. You could say, I'm gonna take note once a month, and or tell him he can keep track of it himself, even better. Give him like a printed out copy of or take a calendar and put it up in his room and be like, okay, every day that you don't pee your bed, we're gonna, here's a set of stickers. You're gonna put a little sticker on that day, and if you can get through a whole month, we're gonna do a pizza party. We're gonna do something awesome. So it gives him something to be excited about, something to lean into and be anticipatory about, and be like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I know that I can do this. And he'll be concentrated on making an effort, to do that exercise, or to do whatever he's got to do, or to laugh before bed, or, he'll like break the habit of what he was doing before, and he'll get in some healthier habits that can help him stop, basically. Hama anate shin sapo homa ana hae lake intatai. Believe it or not, I also feel like he needs a little bed buddy, like a little a bunny or a teddy bear, or he may roll his eyes at that age, but I feel like if he can get past his ego and just have a little friend he can go to bed with, I think for some reason I feel like that's gonna also be a good thing for him. Okay, VCF. I have 2 questions. Question 1. I grew up in my granny's haunted house in a small town in Alabama. We used to say the devil lives under the house. We feel something evil is there. Possible. Oh, I just got a yes. Ugh, it saw me. Ugh, oh, that hurt my heart. Oh my gosh. Something really bad is there. Possibly the whole street is haunted. I dream about this. Oh, they just laughed as I read that. Oh my gosh. Okay, possibly the whole street is haunted. Another laugh. I dream about this house often. There are good rooms and bad rooms. Can you tell me what is in that house? Good Lord. Oh, it was I feel like a burial ground or something. It was built over a burial ground. I'm seeing like graves. Seances and graves. they did a demolition or something. Oh, ouch. Oh, the people that were buried there, or whatever was buried there. Oh, Indians. I think it was Native Americans. They were churned up. Oh, they were totally like, ugh, bleh. It's like, oh, it's like they were like, yeah, they dug up the earth. They dug up the graves, the earth, all of it, and tilled it. They kind of like tilled it like you would a garden, because they wanted the people to be in unrest. Why would they do that? The hatred. It was hatred. It feels like feels like the Native Americans perhaps did something to have an honorable death, and the people who hated them or wanted them dead or even killed them, didn't want them to be honored, didn't want them to have peace. So wow, that's really messed up. Okay, and it's some of the people who. some of the people that did the nastiness, the mean stuff to the Native Americans, some of those people, like their souls were sucked into the ground there in suffering, because of what they did to the Indians. So you get a whole mixed bag. You got the people who were done wrong and the people who did them wrong, all partying in the same, not so much of a party, but like a bad party, a nightmare party is all over there. So it was covered up. They said it was covered up. It looks like it was in between like 1885 to like 1902 or something like that. It was a long time ago. There were like it was like plains. It was plains then. I don't even think it was a neighborhood. Yeah, it's like, it looks like it's built big empty fields and stuff. Whew. Target practice. Somebody who's used it for target practice. Okay, so let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do about this mess. Oh, yeah, a lot of vengeful energy. A lot of really vengeful energy. And yeah, it's like no one's gonna have peace. If we couldn't have peace, no one's going to be having peace. So they specifically target anyone who's trying to be peaceful or have any kind of peace. Haman shanse na tequila hepa kain. Hapon popoko tate san se sheela. Helepin penke na tekin sa se sheen. Hola mama na ikain sa se sheela. Hela na take. Hey pum puma ama ana ela sanse shike pinta he na ana oma an chan chan sanse la he la ana hu ma an ta take la ans se na ai shin shi la kena. You're welcome. Happy he na ke in sanse tai ke in pum puma. Wow. I've got chills all over the place. Oh my gosh. It looked like they were, it looked like my guides, and your guides, everybody involved with this project. It was like they like froze everybody, like immediately, just like zapped them, like boom, gone. Like the energy of them just boom. Like just a sudden flash of frozen. So they all froze and they were all under the ground, and all the ruckus stopped immediately. And then it was like there was this concrete poured in, covering all of them up exactly like they were. So it would be kind of like Ice Age or something. Or, when you see the mummies of people that are just like frozen in action and whatever they were doing, that's what kind of happened, what I saw. And then I saw all these souls start rising up out of the ground, and they just were going, and we filled it with light. There was just all this light. The concrete was formed from the light. It looked like it was like they just had this beaming of this bright light, just roar, and it just like, froze them, and then it put the concrete in them, and then all these souls started drifting off over up to the right. and they all were leaving, but somebody switched around and looked at me and said, thank you. They did like the prayer hands and they said, thank you. And I said, you're welcome. And then they kept going. And then at the tail end, there was like a kid that came and said, thank you also. And then they all just trailed off. The 331, it looks like. That's how many people were involved in that. How many victims there were of that whole thing. Jeez. And some of it was out of greed. Some of it was greed. So I feel like the good rooms that you're talking about, I feel like there's a lot of kid energy, kids and mothers. So you're right. There was some good energy there too. And now hopefully they're free to fill up all those nasty rooms. So let's do like some saging and smudging over the whole area. It's like they're washing the walls of all the homes in that area. Just washing it all clean of all of that icky stuff. Now they're making it like into a fertile soil that something beautiful can grow in. Like I see like seeds being planted that will start sprouting, and it'll bring relief and happiness and like a lightheartedness, and there's going to be like a relief in that neighborhood. There's going to be a feeling of relief in that neighborhood soon. And I feel like people sleeping a lot better and also feeling a little bit more optimistic about their lives and not so depressed or anxious. They're going to feel more settled there. So question number 2, I keep dreaming about blue people. In one dream, I say to a woman, I know you're an Arcturian woman. Once in my granny's house, the one I mentioned above, a woman appeared to me in pitch black, and I saw many colors behind, like in a church window. I feel like she was a widow. I don't know how I could see her in the dark. She comforted me when I was crying. Who was this woman? Am I from another star system? What does that have to do with anything? That seems like such a random thing to ask in the end there. Oh, because the Arcturian thing. Okay. I do get a yes. I do get a yes. The woman in black, I feel like she was mourning, and I feel like she has so much compassion for people who've lost somebody or people who are mourning. She's just nodding yes. She's looking at me like, thank you. Yes, I do. I very much do. So I feel like she just goes to anyone in that area, or had gone to people in that area who'd lost someone or who were grieving, and she would comfort them. So you weren't the only one, but other people she would be around, kind of like offering like moral support from a distance, but not getting too close. But with you, she felt comfortable to actually come closer and be seen by you, and she felt like that would make a bigger impact. And then she says that you can go forth and do this with people or for people too. And she hopes you will. She's saying something about you being an Arcturian too. There are a lot of people on our planet that are there's a book called Dual Soul Connection, if you guys want to look it up. But a lot of people are mixed with extraterrestrials. Yeah, just to survive even. So, yeah, you're going to be getting some downloads and stuff about that going forward. Now that we've released all that, all that stuff, it feels like, and you now have it confirmed. Yeah, you're going to start having some really cool dreams that are going to be inspiring you to step into your purpose. Okay, P.I.J. My husband of 27 years divorced me 15 years ago. My husband of 27 years divorced me 15 years ago and chose to alienate 3 of my 4 children against me, and I haven't seen or heard from them since way back then. Wow. We were a good family at one time, and the shock and pain I have lived with and worked through has been unbelievable. Will they ever want to reconcile with me? I just don't know how one person can poison children against their mother. I am so sorry that happened. That's gotta really suck. Now, I would definitely do the thank you, God, for my misery on that exercise for sure. And all the different aspects of it. So you can look at it from all these different angles and things. Whew. Well, they will. It looks like they will want to reconcile. And it looks like it's going to be, I see them telling you, oh my gosh, how did I end up just like you when I didn't even know, you weren't even in our lives. So there's a feeling of like you guys being so relieved to be reconciled and back in communication. I feel like, I don't know if you have like 2 daughters and a son. I don't know what you have. 3 of my 4 children. Oh yeah. So it's probably 2 daughters and a son. And it feels like especially the girls are going to be really, really, really happy and glad that they cleared things up. I think they have been told a line of baloney, and they just believed it, and they've just gotten used to not having you in their lives. But they definitely think of you from time to time, especially around holidays and things like that. So it will heal. It's going to happen. So let me see here. I'm going to grab the pet cards and see what they have to say, because that should be interesting. The pet cards can apply to children as well. So what do her children have to say to her? What would they like to say to her? I hear the way you talk about me sometimes, and it hurts my feelings. Can you please be mindful of what you say about me and start affirming good things? You're creating more of what you're repeating. So it could be that that's one thing that your ex-husband was saying, is that you would say things about them that really hurt them. Or it could be if you've been, complaining or something like that energetically, they could be feeling and sensing that. But I think it's the first thing. So I think that he's said things. It's making me think of a movie that I watched last night. This woman left a recording for her ex-husband saying she didn't want an office because it was too small. And that it was, that it could help her temporarily, but not in the long term. That it's definitely like too small for her. So to quit asking her about it. The recording sounded like she could have been talking about the guy that she started dating, who was shorter than her, who was kind of a smaller guy. So the ex-husband did the manipulative thing and took that recording and had the guy listen to it or something like that. Yeah, I had the guy listen to it, and he was just mortified. Oh my gosh, I'm short term and I'm too short for her and all this kind of stuff, right? So I feel like it's something like that. Like they're pretty convinced that you did say whatever it is, because he knows them well enough that he knows what their insecurities are and triggers are, and he used that. So let's pull another card here. I think I could really use some discipline and or training. I feel like I'd be more confident if I knew what you wanted from me in various situations. I would know better what to do. So they could be just like not sure what to do about it at this point. They could be like, it's been so long. How would I even contact her? How would I get a hold of her? What would I say? I would feel so awkward and uncomfortable. How would I even clear that up? I miss how close we used to be. Oh. Are you moving? Are you going to take me along with you? Maybe that's one thing he told them, is she's leaving. She's leaving because she's tired of you guys. She doesn't like you anymore. You stink and your mother wears combat boots. Who knows what he said. Is this my forever home? I hope so. They want to live with you. They want to be a family unit again. They're just not sure how to make that happen, and they're not sure if what he said was true. So they get mixed feelings about it. Oh, please stop taking so many pictures and videos of me and just enjoy the moment with me more. I love you. So maybe they felt kind of smothered back in the day. Or maybe there's something about that with the dad possibly. I love how magical you are. You are truly one of a kind. I'm proud to be in your life. You see the very best in everything, and I see the fairies celebrating you all the time too. Wow. They remember how magical you were. I think there's a spirit or other supernatural energy in our home. Have you also been noticing it? Should we do a clearing? Look into it more deeply, maybe? So, okay, so I feel like that's actually spirit prompting me to do a clearing of this whole, like, home came up like 3 times, right? So I think you guys have this idea of home, of what it used to be. And I think I need to clear the negativity out of it, and really kind of nurture that feeling of home to call you guys all back together. They're welcoming clarity for all of you, like communication that brings clarity. When your son sees that your daughters have come running to you and they've, worked it out, I think that he's going to turn his head and be like, He's going to be the most skeptical one, the hardest one, but when they have found peace with you, he's going to be more open. It was all lies. I just heard them say, it was all lies. We told you. Mom would never say that about us, or she would never do that, or whatever. Oh my gosh, you're going to feel so much better in the future about this, but it's so hard right now, I know. You can just keep affirming right now. Thank you, God, so much that you've reunited my children and I, and that we've worked it all out. We figured it out. We had a good cry, and we're now a cohesive family unit and love each other so much. I'm so grateful, God. Thank you so much for making that happen for me and my family. We are so relieved and so happy that we worked it out. Just be affirming that as much as you can. DAR. DAR. Okay. Hi, Amy and kitties. Hope you are staying warm and happy and healthy. Please do a true love check-in for my divine partner. He's still healing and will be home soon. Perpetually waiting. All right. How's he feeling? What's he thinking about her now, please? How's he feeling? What's he thinking and feeling about her now, please? He says, I just want to rip off those clothes. Good Lord. Yeah, he's got passion in his heart. That's funny. So he feels like he's got some explaining to do, and he feels a little insecure about how to explain himself, but he's super, super giddy about sharing his feelings with you eventually and traveling to come see you to balance things out. He's feeling like super in his power at this point. He's ready to get over some things from the past and be really vulnerable and honest with you. And he really does believe that you are his ticket to a happy life, basically, that you guys could be really fulfilled together. And he's going to work really hard to heal things with you and have this new adventure start up. The future is the 8 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So let's see, that would be 9 wands. So he must be overcoming his ego a bit, but once he does, it's like he's ready for that new. And guess what the Ace of Wands is too? Just saying. He's really going to want to go forward fast into something, and you guys are going to be cheering and excited. He's just got to figure out a way. He also wants to speak his truth to you. He's looking forward to telling you how much he's missed you. He also, sees you guys traveling and doing whatever the hell you want to do and having lots of freedom and having a brand new beginning and feeling really abundant and solid and grounded together. I feel like he's also kind of waking up to some truths in our world right now. He's been having all kinds of epiphanies that are helping him feel more settled and helping him love himself, helping him have really good, healthy boundaries with other people. I feel like he stopped judging himself so much. That's awesome. Awesome. And then we have 3 of Wands with the 10 of Pentacles. So he's trying to manifest his dreams come true with you. And he knows he can make it happen with you. Because you're his true love. And he totally believes that in his heart of hearts. So, yeah, this is happening. This is happening. And I'm going to Pull some mini ghoster cards. Uh-oh, whatever you just heard or about to hear, if it hurt you, know that it was not true. It's fake news, a misunderstanding, or you're just not getting the whole story. Trust me, I'll explain later. Okay. If we were just intimate and I ran away, please know that it wasn't you. It was just super intense and awesome, so I ran feeling undeserving. I'll get my courage back and come back around. So that's probably how he was feeling when you guys were getting really close. If I haven't said it in a while or yet, I love you. Don't be surprised if I show up at your door. I have intimacy issues right now. I'm afraid I'll have performance anxiety, especially after all that talk you guys have done. And or I don't feel very confident about being physical in a healthy way or opening up about my past. I think it's all the above. I'm convincing myself I'm happy in my current circumstances, although you're constantly on my mind calling me out on it. I'm living a lie, but I just need to do this and see what happens for myself. So there's a part of him that's like, well, why go into that scary place when I'll have to be that vulnerable, but yet I want to be, but yet, you know, this is all going good over here. So, but then I get the card, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I know this must bother you, but I plan to include you in my life. I do. And take this to the next level as soon as I can. Please just trust me and give me some more time. So he's got to get past some comforts and be willing to be uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, to go start something new with you. He's also a little afraid. He'll push you away out of feeling unworthy. He wants to work on loving himself more, like we just saw in the cards. I know I can do this and I don't want to lose you. You're my everything. And I'm not talking to you because I tend to sabotage myself and don't want to hurt you. I'm working on healing, believing, and becoming more confident in myself so I can open up to this caliber of love. So he's got worthiness issues. Please tell me you'll treat me like an adult and not a child. It's important to me to feel respected and for you to see me with new eyes. I've matured a lot and I want you to see me how I am now, not then. Okay. So I am going to do a general blessing for everybody right now. So drop your shoulders, relax. As long as it's for the highest good of everybody involved and within their free will, this energy of whatever you're wishing for will be amplified and supported by the universe. So set your intention. Ha ma na te en sa se la ke en shensi. Hela he ma ke na o ho ma an. Shen she la han sa se la. He ken pu ma an. Tain ta te ki en shen sa se el ha pan. Some of you have something that was amplifying energy, like a pyramid or something that you used to use on a regular basis, and they want you to go back to using that again. Ha ma na taking saseshi. It could have been qigong. It could have been like anything that amplifies energy. They're wanting you to amplify again with good intentions out toward the world. Pai pa mama again. They said that it's going to make sure that we have a slam dunk right now. Chen chen ta he ha pa ma ana ai. He la kina te chen sa se he he na apo ma on. Hi, lakins. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate your support and your love and your kind words. And I will talk to you next week.